Good evening, everyone. Welcome to episode 11 of The Knockout. We got a very fun episode, I believe, coming up here. We got the King of Crime versus the God of Mischief. So we'll have to see who comes out on top of who. So please welcome into the chat Unruly Simion with Loki. Thank you for joining me.
What's up, everyone?
And Tacoma Comics with Loki. So good to have you both here. So switch it around there. All right. So like I said, this is a very interesting fight and all that. So I have a couple people convinced that it's going to fall Loki's way, but we do not know for sure. I've been quite surprised that Michelangelo, the Ninja Turtle, is making it as far as he did. I guess I'm underestimating Michelangelo. So
Pure turtle love.
yeah, maybe so. So I wouldn't underestimate Loki, but either Loki or Kingpin by any chance. So all depends on what the chat decides. So, as usual and all that, the rules are, like I said, it's pretty open-minded, but fair is fair. You each get one official challenge if you decide that you don't like a particular argument, or you want to disqualify someone's specific still that it's irrelevant to the matchup, or however you want to try and work it. And then the other person gets a chance to argue for it, and then I decide who wins the argument and who gets to keep or not keep the particular challenge. So, any questions before we get the show started?
I'm good and ready. Good
to go, sir.
Awesome. I vote for Loki as a vote for kittens. Yeah. Yzma and Emperor's New Groove. All right, so Tacoma Comics is opening with the opening statement. So take it away with White Kingpin.
So, just like everybody thought Chelsea was an underdog against Porto today, we won our match. I want everybody to go in with open mind here. You introduced me as the Kingpin, drug king of New York, mayor of New York. Let's give some credit where credit is due. We are not talking about just some drug dealer like the guy that I was outside kicking out of my sidewalk in front of my house and made me late for the show. Serious mayoral presence here. The Kingpin, the man who has survived Spider-Man, the man who has survived Daredevil. This man constantly survives, and the reason he survives is because he's this master strategist. And Loki, for all of his illusions and his powers that he may or may not have, but never actually seems to use, he can always be manipulated by a master manipulator. And to be able to rule all the gangs and the drug syndicates in New York and still also be the mayor, you have to be a master manipulator. That is why it may not be in a boxing ring that Kingpin could win, but that is why ultimately he would destroy Loki.
Very, very good. What is Loki's response?
Loki's response is, Mayor, Loki has ruled Asgard on more than one occasion. Also, first of all, before I start talking smack, I love Kingpin, man. I never took him seriously until the Miller run on DD in the 80s. And then I really liked the way Bendis used him in Ultimate Spidey. And there's a graphic novel that Miller and Sienkiewicz, however you say his name, did. And,
both are good.
In the 80s with DD, and it was, focused on Kingpin's wife, Vanessa. That was just wonderful. And Kingpin is a master manipulator and strategist, but come on, man, he's survived being a Daredevil. He survived Spider-Man. Loki could crush both of those at the same time while pouring a cocktail with his other hand. He's a god, and that's comics Loki. Now MCU Loki, don't y'all get the feeling, or in the Thor movies, that they're trying to go with this, a science you wouldn't understand. That's why you call it magic crap. I don't really care for that a whole lot. Not as much as just the pure mythology stuff. But Loki's a bad mofo. Could Kingpin survive being slammed repeatedly by the Hulk onto a hard surface? I think not.
Very, very good points. Yeah,
It's-
that's the reason why.
I was
But
gonna
yeah, I
say,
just had a good time when I was designing the intro and all that. I had the GIF and all that, so I had found that whole Loki's calling Kingpin a dull creature, and so yeah, I had a lot of fun with that intro. Here, so
I do want to say I was really impressed with the intro. That was very nicely done. Not that I'm trying to butter up the host or anything. Just want to throw that out there. Spectacular skills, technological wizardry.
I don't vote unless it's a tie, so butter all you want. It doesn't count.
Hey, you never know. You never know. So yeah, I mean, you're talking about Hulk smashing Loki back and forth. Now maybe Loki survived, but let's be honest, nobody ever really dies in comics for too long, at least. So, but the Hulk, whose power beyond like any mind manipulation and strategy is strength, and that's what Kingpin has. I mean, Kingpin is, his basic makeup is that he is not as large as he looks. It is all muscle. And so I could easily see him taking Loki and whipping him back and forth across the floor, and Loki scampering away and going to hide and producing a play on Asgard and pretending that he's for a while. Loki took over as ruler of Asgard when Thor is locked in another dimension or away moping or lost his hammer again. But Kingpin actually had to earn the right to be mayor. So I discount that whole like he ruled in Asgard. Well, Daddy was the ruler, so Kingsman Daddy was just an abusive guy who left when he was young. He had to. Captain, you got me. I'm in the middle of a strategic argument, Captain. I'm reading off the wall here. So yeah, I think it takes a little bit more, but Loki was, if you I know you don't want to go towards the movies, but the Avengers had him trapped on that ship and rendered him powerless. They had special bracelets made that rendered him powerless. Whatever magic or science is used there, I think that Wilson Fisk could get his hands on it and render Loki incapable of harm.
Very cool, very cool. I like your the counter argument there, and the whole, and especially it was your argument there that the whole science, and this magic we don't understand kind of thing versus there. It really depends. So yeah, it depends. I think on where you guys are going to take the argument and all that, just where it could be beneficial if you stick to just the lore of Loki and not the MCU version. You might have a different argument. So definitely very fun. So so my question here, Tacoma, I'm going to send this over to you. So you said Kingpin, like you said, is mayor of New York and all that, but he also is like, so the Kingpin of crime. He doesn't just do things himself. Do we think that this will be a fight just between Kingpin and Loki, or do we think that he's going to bring the full force of both the, NY whatever plus the under crime bosses, or is he going to try and do something else? How is he going to approach this fight?
Kingpin will do what he has to do, but in the end, he will step up mano a mano. Mano a gato. I don't know how you put that, but he's not afraid to step in when he has to. But I think that he will definitely use all of the tools at his disposal, which includes the several gangs that he runs and controls.
Cool. All right. So how is Loki gonna fight this? How is he going to take out Kingpin to become the mayor of New York in that sense?
Well, first let me dispute a point that Tacoma made earlier. Loki is only taken over Asgard when either Big Daddy and or Thor isn't around, but he's done it through force, trickery, and manipulation. So he's fooling a bunch of other gods to be able to take over Asgard. And depending on which iteration of Loki you get, because Loki's been an anti-hero in the comics, he's actually been a child trying to do good. Depending on which iteration of Loki you get, he could bring the whole horde of Asgard with him to take on New York. And now let's be honest. Kingpin's got what? Ox and vibrator guy. Loki can whistle up Thor occasionally.
So, but to that point, Loki his biggest weakness is the love for his brother. So when he gets Thor involved, he usually ends up doing the right thing, which I don't think would be beating up the mayor of New York. I think that Thor would dissuade him from such brutal attack on another fiefdom.
Yes, but what if Loki explained to him the true cost of Kingpin's empire? I mean, the cost on the streets, broken homes, broken lives, broken. I mean, just the toll drug takes in a
Well,
big city.
You might not like the way I run the city, but there's actually less crime in the city now that I'm in control. There's less people on soup lines. It's actually a really well-run city, and that's part of what makes people like Daredevil and perhaps Loki so upset, is that I'm doing such a good job with my city.
Hey, did you ever see the flick King of New York?
The what?
The movie King of New York, Christopher Walken?
No, I did not.
It's the same exact dynamic. It's an excellent movie if you've never seen it, and it's got a great cast. It came out in like 90, 91, and it didn't do well at the box office, but it's gained a lot of stature since. But at any rate, he's a drug boss who's been in prison for 3 or 4 years. The day he gets out, he puts his gang into motion to wipe out all his rivals. And he walks out 2 days later, he's the king of New York again. But he does exactly what you're saying. He sets up hospitals in poor neighborhoods. He sets up soup kitchens. Meanwhile, the police, this group of police that are trying to capture him, are lose sight of what they're doing so bad that they wind up breaking the law 800 different ways trying to bring him down. It's an excellent, excellent movie, and you saying that reminded me of it. But bottom line, Kingpin bad, Loki will crush.
Well, to put a point in Tacoma's column and all that, say, yeah, Loki has all these powers and all that, but I don't remember him ruling Asgard from his cell. I remember in the Daredevil series, Kingpin had a lot of power even behind bars. So kind of hard to argue against that.
Yeah, but you're talking one city. I'm talking the pantheon of the gods. There's no comparison.
How many people live in Asgard?
None. It's populated by gods.
How many gods live in Asgard?
I'm not sure. I probably should have Googled that. I would imagine hundreds, if not thousands.
We got 9 million people in New York City when I lived there 10 years ago. Probably more now.
Yeah, but see, all right, and there's another flaw in your argument. Who wants to live in an anthill? I'm in Atlanta right now. God dang, I hate the traffic. Hate it. Couldn't deal with it. If I wasn't making good bank, I would not be able to deal with cities.
What about didn't Asgard get destroyed anyway, despite Loki and all of his god friends' best attempts to save it? New York's still standing.
That was MCU-age. MCU-age.
Okay.
But I will use the MCU when it favors my argument.
Just like a real villain would.
Hey, and let me say, I'm not ashamed to say it. I love the Daredevil movie with Ben Affleck, and I thought Michael Clark Duncan did a great job as Kingpin. But holy shit, Vincent D'Onofrio, it was like, that's right, I've been secretly doing nothing but gaining weight for 8 years to play the role of a lifetime. He knocked it out of the park in that Netflix series. I hope we get to see him in the MCU.
I think we will. So what actually are Loki's powers? Because I'm confused. I think he just talks nicely sometimes.
He is a master manipulator, and I think if you go in the Marvel handbook for strength, it's pretty much off the charts compared to a human being.
Okay.
Well, he
is known for his magics and glamours and powers of deception.
And he is a frost giant, right? Or half frost giant. So
at least in the MCU.
Yeah. I think
he's a little ashamed of that connection. I think that could be used against him as well.
Yeah, he's a little blue about it.
that was horrible. I think in mythology he is too. I'm not sure in Marvel Comics. I'm not quite sure if he's supposed to be half frost giant. Obviously, I should have researched my character, but I basically picked him because I'm a Kirby fan and I named my dog Loki.
There you go.
Cool. But yeah, but I'm still seeing a slight edge. If I was voting, I'm still seeing a slight edge with Loki versus his powers and all that. But I do not underestimate Kingpin in his mind. This is a guy, like I said, who's you don't become the Kingpin whether you're physically strong or not, unless you have the ability and the brains to back up the power. Not just anyone could be a crime boss. You have to have a real authority and skill behind it, and you're a real cutthroat. So it's definitely a argument to me. So,
well, there's the way I see it is Loki will always play second fiddle to his brother, and that seems to be his Achilles heel. Is that as much as he never does as well or gets as far as his brother, he also always gets held back by his brother when his brother points out the error of his ways. And Kingpin has no morals limiting him. He has nothing holding him back. Pure rage and hate at what happened to his wife and his kid. But other than that, he just wants power, and he has nothing that can dissuade him into doing the right thing if they try.
Well, early on in the comics, I do know the comic backstory pretty well. Loki was pure evil. There wasn't none of this wishy-washy stuff to him. It's been, Christ, what is it? Almost 50 years? No, more than 50 years of canon for Loki. But now I think I've never seen Kingpin hook up with any of the big hitters in the Marvel universe. I mean, as far as teaming up with other villains. If he could team up with some people with real power like Doom, yeah, and build a network like that, yeah, he could take Loki no problem. But I mean, let's be honest. How many times has Daredevil, a mere mortal, defeated him? And how many times has Spidey dunked him,
Well,
swirled him
very
in the toilet?
few. And I would argue that the reason why he hasn't been defeated by Daredevil is because Daredevil is held back by those same morals and religious convictions that his Catholic upbringing has brought to him, and the idea that you've got to be better than the people you're fighting against. And again, Kingpin is not limited by any of those sorts of ideas. I'm trying to look up in my Marvel Handbook of the Universe cards Loki and Kingpin power.
Well, while you're doing that, I do see your point, Unruly, about Loki and all that. Is very interesting and all that. Although I do think that for Tacoma's side, that Kingpin would, I believe, know that he needs to go, if he's going up against Loki, would say that this is a guy I need to have an edge with. He might, he would. I can see him making a deal with a Doom character or some other character and all that. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Even if it's just financial kind of thing. But I also see the fact, because if it was me arguing, I would see that Loki wouldn't be going straight on against Kingpin. I would think he would be, like I said, master of mischief or whatever, that he would be kind of like being sneaky about it. And so he would in a sense get first strike against Kingpin, but Kingpin might be able to overcome him, because, like I said, so once he was aware of his enemy and all that, and he would be able to get his whatever he has then.
All right, I got the Marvel Handbook online.
Oh, nice.
Loki is extremely long-lived, though not immortal like the Olympians. There's his frost giant heritage, probably. Superhumanly strong, Loki can lift about 30 tons, average for his race. Immune to all diseases and resistant to conventional injury. Asgardian flesh and bone is 3 times denser than similar human tissue. His Asgardian metabolism gives him superhuman endurance in all physical activities. He possesses a host of magical skills, chief among them the ability to transform his shape at will into those of other creatures. So in the middle of a fight, he can become Vanessa and totally throw Kingpin off his game.
I
Yeah.
think that would only enrage Fisk further, and make him more angry, which I don't think would be a good thing. I did not
Yeah.
realize that there was a Kingpin that you could get the Marvel Handbook online. That's pretty cool.
Very
Yeah, I just
interesting.
Googled it real quick.
The pack I have does not have Kingpin or Loki in, but these are really cool. Side note, I got to get a binder for these. I just found them because I've been cleaning up, but they got a card on each character, hole punch and everything, so you can put them in a binder.
Nice. Very interesting.
Those were like the 70s and 80s. That was released, wasn't it?
I think it was like 82 because it was when I was reading comics. So sometime around then. I don't know if this has a date on it. This is Master Edition Volume 3 from 91, but the original I know is a lot earlier than that. I think it was like early 80s or mid 80s.
Yeah, see, now, I wasn't reading comics in the early 80s, but if that had come out in the mid 70s when I first got into them, I'd have them memorized. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So, anyway, how is this fight going to end? Well, there's a good direction of both of you. Is this a Loki? Are they going to try and kill another, or are they going to try to overpower the other, or is Kingpin going to try and offer Loki a job as his head of security? You know, his big enforcer and all that. How does this fight end? Maybe that, if anyone who hasn't voted, that might help them vote and all that. How is this fight going to end to where one overcomes the other? What's the ultimate goal for each of these characters?
I'll let Unruly go first in that one.
I think if it comes down to a physical contest, it ends up with Loki drinking out of Wilson Fisk's skull. But there's no doubt Loki does have his weaknesses, but he is a manipulator. He is deceptive. He is clever. But definitely, if Kingpin could hook up with some heavy hitters, it would be interesting. It wouldn't be foregone. And Kingpin's smart enough to realize he doesn't want to get into a physical confrontation with Loki. I would have to believe he would send in other people to do his dirty work for him. And Loki is definitely not the best long-range planner. I think Kingpin's got the advantage all over him in that. But then again, if Loki knew what was actually happening and knew Kingpin is the man behind the shit going on around him, he'd track him down and try and take him out.
Yeah, I think that a fist fight in the ring, so to speak, Kingpin might not stand a chance, but Kingpin is not going to go after Loki unless he has a plan ahead of time, unless he's already aware of what he wants to do and how he wants to do it, and whether it entails threatening something or stealing something that's important to Loki, or putting Loki in an impossible position where he's got to accept surrender or lose something else. I think that Kingpin would be several steps ahead of him, and Loki has an arrogance about him that you see in both the comics and in the TV show, and I think that would be his downfall. I think that Kingpin will be able to use that against him.
Definitely a very good point there.
Do you remember the iteration of Loki that Gaiman uses in Sandman?
No.
That is the pure evil Loki of the mythology. And even though Sandman gets Loki his freedom from a prison he's in, Loki can't stand it that he owes Sandman anything and starts this long, convoluted plot to bring him down.
Was that when the Sandman visited hell and went through the several levels of hell to find the devil?
That's early. That's early in Sandman. This is like 2/3, 3/4 of the way through.
Gotcha.
Very good. Very good.
But Loki of mythology doesn't have any of those weaknesses. He is immoral, and he would bring it. Loki in the MCU, Loki in the comics, I think it'd be about even, And Loki in the MCU would definitely maybe have some fleeting morals as his Achilles heel.
Yeah.
Well, I'll take the comics then.
Yeah, it's definitely a very interesting fight. You got both are very smart in one sense. That just one person has power and the other person has the ability to recruit.
I got it. Excuse me.
All right, no problem. Timber, I think. But yeah, very good point. Very good point. So, while we're having a brief moment here while Tacoma's out of the frame, feel free, anyone in the chat, if you have points that you feel Unruly or Tacoma should be making, you have an argument, hell, even have some questions and all that, like I'm throwing in now and then, just feel free to throw something in there and all that might sway you to, so that they can sway you to their side. So, but yeah, there's definitely some very good arguments.
You know what I like about this show, dude, is it would be fun to just come on and just talk mad smack. Oh, your boy's is the biggest pussy this side of the Mississippi. But that's not the way. Every episode I've watched, everybody's pretty cool and respectful and gives the other guy points when they're supposed to be there. But Loki's just a badass. Let's face it. At the end of the day, Loki's a god, or the next closest thing to it, and Kingpin is a man. He's mortal.
True. So yeah, and
he can lift 30 tons. That's 60,000 pounds.
Yeah, and I said I have no real thing against it. If you in fact, I welcome the funny trash smack talk and all that. It's more fun and all that. So it's almost like going, yeah, civility, here you go, good show.
Well, here's the thing. The last episode, that's the first time I've ever met Mint Hunter. I've watched some of Tacoma's videos, but we've never really interacted before. So I wouldn't want to be a brash smack talker to that. Now, if I was going up against somebody I knew well, like, Kenny or Cobby or JP, it'd be a totally different ball game.
Yeah.
I would just be unleashing the ugliness.
Yeah. Well, see, there's always season 3. So Javi or all you guys, please, more than welcome to have it. New faces are more than welcome. And all that. You can't just have the same old guests all the time, So definitely a lot of fun here. Season 3 is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a powerhouse season. All the big, powerful people. So definitely want to do a Titan show in that sense.
Who do you got? Aren't you running right? Is this all villains this season?
No, it was a hero. It basically had heroes on one side and villains on the other.
Okay, who's still left on the good guy side?
Let's see. I have the list here. I had it somewhere. All right, we had Michelangelo from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and we had, I think it was Bloodshot. Yeah, it's Bloodshot and him. I think it's Bloodshot and him. So yeah,
Bloodshot and Michelangelo. They're the only 2 left. Yeah,
I believe so. Daredevil and Batman Beyond, Booster Gold, Ben Reilly, and Captain Britain have all been defeated, along with the Green Power Rangers. Yeah, so it's Bloodshot from the Valiant comic books.
Wow.
Or Michelangelo from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So definitely not where I saw the hero side going.
No.
So, but like I said, that's why I don't vote. So, good writer, no doubt, sir. Was that these battles are fun thoughts, exercises? Yeah, definitely. I think that was the main thought here. I like to debate. I like to see this kind of thing here. So I kind of like had a lawyer kind of courtroom / Comicgories / all that. So I like these. I like the whole thought experiment thing and all that. I've had several debates myself for things like that. So I wonder what is keeping Tacoma. So
I hope nothing bad.
Yeah, I don't think so.
He's got kids, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think he has at least has a daughter. I'm not sure. Loki would make turtle soup out of that teenage ninja. Who knows? Southern keeps offering free pizza for his votes, so.
I will Uber you a large one topping.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, of course he brought up the last Ronin in his last argument here. You know that.
I'm not a Turtles fan, so I mean I'm not a hater, but I mean I'm not a regular reader, so I haven't been buying that. But from what everybody's saying about how good that story is, I'm definitely getting the trade when it comes out.
Yeah, I don't know really anything about it too. I remember watching or knowing about it, and we're playing the original Nintendo Entertainment System with the turtle there. I played Leonardo with the two swords and all that, and so I remember as a kid, I was more Power Rangers as a kid than Ninja Turtles, but I was surprised, yeah, about it. So I've only gotten a few Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle books, but. Otherwise, it's like, not my thing. I'm more Spider-Man and Superman kind of a thing. So,
well, back in the '80s when the comic first came out, whoever picked them up, I think it was First Publishing. I don't really remember. They published a nice oversized hardback of like the first 10 or 12 issues, and I bought that and read it. And that's all I know about Turtles. I've never seen the cartoons, never seen the movies.
Yeah, so Comic Head 84 asks, he says, not too versed in Loki. Does him being a mischief god mean he can make illusions and stuff or to trick people? So, I mean,
he has powerful reservoirs of deception. Is everything all right?
No, we have a bit of a family emergency, so he's going to have to log out. We're really sorry, but something came up.
I understand. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and just close it out here, or we'll go ahead and close the argument here, and so we'll just send out there. So, yeah, thank you very much.
Definitely. Another time.
Okay. All right. So, all right. Well, that's a shame. We didn't have to close the argument. So, let's get to that then. So, let's go ahead and go a little fair thing, there. So everyone here can finish up voting and all that. I do say you definitely both had very good points. All kind of slip into Tacoma's spot to defend him.
Hey, now, mister. I know it's your show.
No. I'm just basically saying that I do say I understand the whole King. Like I said, just repeat what I said before. Kingpin, I could say recruiting, or hiring people to help take on Loki, that he wouldn't actually do it himself too much if he can, kind of thing. He might, like I said, he might be powerful too, but he's not stupid. And Loki being Loki, he might do other means before all that. So we'll go ahead and if you haven't cast your vote, go ahead and do that, and we'll go and do it. So yeah, it's an unintentional family emergency that ended this fight. So I'm sorry about that. Hopefully,
I hope everything's okay, Tacoma, for real.
Yeah, we hope everything's all right. So we'll definitely have to reach out to him later on tonight just to make sure he's okay. Hate to have family emergencies come up. I had a few of those myself over the past year with my son, my wife, and a couple of those things. Not very fun. So, So anyway, thank you very much.
Let's be honest. We all know this would end with Loki drinking from Wilson's skull. The sweet nectar of the gods.
Yeah, sitting on his throne in City Hall. But yeah, I had a lot of fun making the intro and all that. I had him double flipping the knives and him yelling at Kingpin, "I'm a god, you dull creature," and then Wilson basically saying "bring it on" and all that. So I animated the last little bit there. So if I can have enough gifts and all that, it could be a lot of fun. So all right, let's get to the end result here and see who came out ahead. Where is it? There it is. All right. Good luck to you, Simeon, and good luck to you, Tacoma. So, who came out ahead? The results are Loki 6-2.
Awesome.
Let's
be honest. Tacoma had the more well thought out and better reasoned arguments.
Yes, he did. He definitely had a lot of good arguments there. So, but unfortunately, it wasn't enough for him this time. So, you get to advance on, and I believe you'll be facing either Reverse Flash or Sabretooth. Whoever comes out ahead in the next matchup for them. It's Reverse Flash versus Sabretooth. So
man, I've been for the last 3 years. I've come so close to getting that first appearance of Sabretooth half a dozen times and just never did it. Now I'm not going to be able to afford the damn thing, I'm sure.
Yep. And Comic 84, I would love to have you as a guest on next season. Please let me know on Instagram if you're still here in the chat. I would love to have you on. You have very good points and arguments, and I love your create. When I'm watching Comicgories and I've seen you on there, you've had a couple of good arguments and all that, and how you do your covers and all that. So I'd love to have you on the show, for next season. So let me know and all that. So definitely, I mean, anyone who wants to be on is more than welcome to. Just hit me up in the chat or on Instagram. The more the merrier, as far as I'm concerned, and all that. This is a lot of fun. I love having you guys on and all that, and talking to different chats as we debate who is superior to who. So definitely a lot of fun. So, well, again, thank you, Unruly, for joining me. Sorry that you had to run out, Tacoma, but like I said, hope everything's going good. Oh, looks like he's back for a second. Hey, how's it going?
It's going. Just had some issues. Two of the kids pop up. No big deal. They're fine. But so sorry about that. And I can't stay much longer. But I just wanted to pop back on and say
no, that's awesome, man. I'm just glad everything's okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
So
that wasn't a cheap trick to get votes. That was
well, you would need about 5 of them to win. Apparently.
Okay.
It was 6-2.
All right, that sounds fair.
You had the better arguments, more reason thought. I'm just coasting on the popularity of Loki.
I think you're coasting on the being a god. Like going into this, I really didn't think I had a chance because gods usually beat mortals, even demigods. So yeah. Well, congratulations, though, and I'll root for you for whoever you're up against next.
Yeah, it'll either be Reverse Flash or Sabretooth, depending on how the next matchup goes.
See now, wow, that's a good one. Like I can see, like Sabretooth, I don't think stands a chance against Loki, but Reverse Flash, like there's more, there's something there. So that'll be really interesting.
Yeah, if I had to put my money down on the outcome, I would say Reverse Flash, just based on speed alone. But like I said, I've seen several battles, or a couple battles, where it's obvious it's Lex Luthor that's going to win, in my opinion, but Kingpin came out ahead. So it's like going, I would have sworn Lex Luthor would have won that one, but hey,
anyway, I gotta go, and just wanted to say sorry and thank you very much. Good seeing both of you. Take care.
Well, you too, sir.
Bye-bye.
All right, take care, and glad everything worked out all right. So, all right, I'm going to let you go, Unruly. I got my own family stuff to deal with. My wife will be home from work in about 20 minutes, so got to make sure some other stuff's done around the house and stuff's ready for dinner. So, I get to do the honeydew list while she's working, while she comes home. So, got my own list to do. So, all right, I'll take care, everyone. Again, if you're interested in being on the next season of the Knockout, it's Powerhouse. That's like Green Lantern, Superman. I want to throw in a couple animated characters like maybe Goku or One Punch Man. I want to try and expand and cast a wide net for a lot of different things. Like I said, the only real scenario thing here is key powerful people like Planet Destroyer kind of powerful. This way it can be a real who's who and all that, and a lot of fun matchups. So
Maestro. You need to throw Maestro in there.
Maestro, yeah. Well, like I said, everyone's welcome to throw in the intros. And like that, I'll be doing another live show when I'm getting ready for season 3, when I start drawing in a list of characters to choose from and all that. So that's how I did it for season 2 and all that. So whenever I do that, everyone's more than welcome to pop in the chat to give up characters. So anyway, I'll let you go, Tacoma. I'll reach out later for your next matchup. Cool. And I look forward to it. So take care. Stay safe, everyone. Stay healthy. And as always, happy collecting. Till next time, have a good night.
Later, y'all.